Hello, class of 2020. Mr. Stemple here, talking about the STEM Fair this year. As a quick reminder, the STEM Fair is May 28th from 9:30 to 12, and your videos are due by May 14th. So this is the first in a series of 4 videos that I'm going to post once a week, and this is going to help you get ready for the STEM Fair. The purpose of these videos is to break everything that you need to do down into weekly assignments so that you can be fully ready by the time the STEM Fair shows up. So let's get right into it. How are we going to be ready for this STEM Fair? Seems like there's a lot to do. And there is, but you guys are doing great so far, and you'll be able to do this with no problem. So first thing, let's talk about gathering the information. So that's the topic of today's video. You're going to gather all the information you have, identify what you don't have, review the rubric, and make your 3D model. And you should be able to have that mostly done by the end of this week. And then next week, you're going to prepare and script the information for your video. Prepare a script, complete your 3D model if you haven't done it already, and finish gathering any missing information. That gives you basically 2 weeks to make sure you've got everything ready to go. There should be plenty of time. And then record and collaborate. So you're going to be recording your videos, preparing for your judges' questions, uploading your video for comment, coordinating responses with your teammates, making sure you've got everything ready to go. And this is where you can get a lot of feedback and make sure that that your videos are fully ready to go for the STEM Fair. And then last but certainly not least, submit those videos and discuss them. Make sure that you've got all the feedback you need, make sure that your videos are prepped and ready to go, and then be able to upload them onto whatever platform we've decided to use. Probably not going to be YouTube, but I'm not sure yet. But as long as you've created a video, you'll be able to upload it with no problem. Okay, so let's get right into it. Step 1, gathering the information. This is what you're supposed to be doing this week. So what information should you have? And there's quite a bit of information, but it shouldn't be a surprise. We've been talking about the same information all year. Overview and introduction. Introduce yourself. Introduce your product. Create some excitement around your product. You guys have some really cool products and some really cool projects for your STEM Fair. Make sure that you're talking about how exciting they are. Make sure you're talking about what they're going to do or what they should have done. And then talk about your problem statement and the justification. What were you trying to solve? What was that problem that you were trying to solve, and why were you trying to solve it? And then let's talk about the solutions. What else is out there that sort of solves this problem? And why is your solution better than all those solutions? And then next we'll talk about the prototype and the procedure. What have you built so far? Description of your procedure. Some of you have done testing procedures, etc. Some of you have procedures for building things. So let's talk about that, and then a 3D model of your product. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on in this presentation, but there are some 3D modeling software out there that you can use to build 3D models of your product. Next is testing methods and results. How did you test it, your product, or how would you have tested it if you had more time? Some of you had done some testing, some of you hadn't. What would your testing have looked like if you'd had more time to do that test? And then, of course, if you had more time and more money, what would your product ultimately look like? Would this product have been ideally patented? Would it have gone to large-scale manufacturing? Would you have made a larger model of it and used it? What would it have looked like if you had had more time? If you need a list of these things, look under modules in Canvas or under assignments in Canvas, either one. It's assignment 324/325. It's called Display Details, and it has all this information listed. So what if we don't have all that information? Some of you have all that information ready to go, and some of you don't. Figure out what you don't have. Somebody on your team make a list. Here's what we don't have yet, and then let's figure out how to get them. So use the resources where you've saved that information. A lot of you have saved a lot of that information on the various platforms that we've been using. You've saved it on Canvas because you've submitted it to me. It's on Innovation Portal because we used that at the beginning of the year. It's on Google Sheets in the notes that we took every day when we were in class. And if you can't find the information, build the information. Collaborate with your team members. Make sure that you have all the stuff on that list. Next thing is review the rubric. The rubric is on Canvas. It's under an assignment called Virtual STEM Fair Rubrics. There's a rubric for the video and for the question and answer session with the judges. So look at both rubrics. Pretend you're a judge. Go through those rubrics. Imagine what your presentation would look like if you were a judge. So go through there, look at all the questions, see what the judges are going to be asking you to do, see what they're going to be looking for when they look at your video and when they do that question and answer session with you. Pretend you're a judge. Go through and judge a product, judge a virtual project. Don't be afraid to save it. Don't be afraid to do it 2 or 3 times. Don't be afraid to do it 20 times if you want. I can get rid of all that information when we start the actual STEM fair and give the judges a clean copy of that rubric. It's all online. It's all virtual. It's all in Google Forms. It's easy to do. I'm pretty sure you can even do it on your phone if you want. Go through the rubric so you know what we're looking for and what you're going to be judged on. And then for this week, I'd like you to start making a 3D model if you haven't already. Some of you have. Some of you have 3D models on Autodesk Inventor because you've had things 3D printed. Some of you have made 3D models on Inventor to show what your product should look like. If you haven't, you should be doing something like that. There's an assignment, again, on Canvas called 317 3D Modeling Software that'll give you some options for some free 3D modeling software. Most of them are Autodesk in the Autodesk suite. If you like using those products, that's fine. If you don't, there's one called Blender that I downloaded and played around with a little bit. It's free and it's easy to use. If you have a different 3D modeling software that you prefer, then go ahead and use that. Doesn't really matter to me what 3D modeling software you use, as long as those 3D models show up in your video somewhere. All right, moving on. What if you need help? Oh my goodness, this is a lot of information, a lot of work. Join one of my conference calls. Check Canvas for the dates and the times and the bridge information. If you can't make those times, if you're really stuck, you really need help, you really need somebody to talk to, call me or text me. There's my phone number. We'll figure it out together. Don't wait till the last minute. Right? Don't call me on the 13th and say, oh my gosh, my video is due tomorrow and I haven't done anything, because I'm not going to be able to help that much. Just start now. Start working every week. Watch these videos every week. Start doing this stuff that I've asked you to do, and you'll be fully prepared for the STEM fair. Good luck. You guys have done great work all year. I really want you to take this time to show off what you've done, showcase your work, and get a chance to participate in this virtual STEM fair. Remember, this is going to be a skill that you're going to be able to put on your resume. During this crisis, you were able to complete your STEM fair, complete your senior design project virtually, collaborate with team members, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is the kind of thing employers are going to be looking for when you start entering the job market. So good luck, and call me if you need help.